Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
Shout out to all my tea sippers out there. We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey. So make sure you guys have your teacups ready because you already know this tea is what? Piping hot. All right, you guys, here goes some late night tea. A lot of y'all been asking me to talk about the Lil Wayne situation. Everyone keeps sending me DMs. You caught this. You were talking about this not even 2 weeks ago. If you missed my live stream, I did a live stream. We had a few technical issues because YouTube was on that goofy stuff. But it was called Are Celebrities Being Used as Drug Mules? And I talked about a lot of things in that live stream that's now coming to pass. So if you guys do not know, on Monday, December 23rd, Lil Wayne's private jet was searched by the FBI / the Miami-Dade police. And, they ended up letting him go. But now the reports are coming out with what was found on that plane. So this is what's being reported today. According to law enforcement, Weezy, real name Dwayne Michael Carter, could face gun and drug charges for a search at the Miami Opelika Executive Airport. In addition to $20,000 in cash being found in possession of the rapper's chef, this is what was allegedly uncovered as well. Cocaine, heroin, MDA in pill and crystal form, marijuana, a gold-plated .45 caliber handgun with the grip made of pearl, custom vape cartridges with Lil Wayne's face engraved in them. So the police found all of this on his plane. And Wayne stated the day he was arrested, he took to social media when they let him off. And he was saying, all goody. I think they thought I was talking about a different pack in my last tweet. But anyways, go pack, go. This is way too much stuff for this to just be coincidental, okay? For me, this is way too much. It's not like he has a little bit of heroin, just a little bit of weed, things to toot and stuff like that. They're saying that it was a lot of drugs found on that plane, plus $20,000 in cash that was also confiscated. So in my live stream, I talked about this. I'm going to go ahead and replay that for you guys. Go ahead and enjoy this flashback, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary. To be Las Vegas came to be because of the mob, and you had people like Bugsy Siegel and all these big mobsters, rubbing shoulders with the Rat Pack, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra. You had a lot of gangsters rubbing shoulders with these modern day musicians back in the day. So this is nothing new. If a lot of these young rappers are being lured into drug trafficking, because you got to realize these are celebrities, so they're having access to private planes, they're having access to tour buses, and a lot of times they're not going to be checked like the average person, because a lot of times cops and security people, they're just as enamored. They want to be seen with these celebrities. They want selfies and pictures and stuff like that. So they're not going to be as adapt to bust them out or, get them in trouble. I don't feel like this was the first time he was moving weight. There's no way your first time you feel that comfortable, your first flight, to drug traffic 70 pounds of marijuana. Put a teacup if you feel like this was not his first time. Put a teacup in the comment section. Rel, you're going to be blocked. Don't come in my comment section spamming your YouTube page. Okay? You create your own audience, and then you tell your own audience to subscribe to your shit. Don't come here trying to divert the energy. If he does it again, block his ass. We don't play that over here. All right, so I see a lot of teacups. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys agree. I do not feel like this was his first time. I'm not necessarily saying that he was broke or he needed the money. But again, this is an extra $200K. You know what I'm saying? I know I could do some shit with $200K. I'm sure y'all could too. So you figure the pressures of being a celebrity, having to keep up a lifestyle. And then they're telling these young kids, hey, you're not going to be searched like that. You're Juice World. You're Little Pump. You're Little such and such. They're not going to come at you like that. And they get comfortable assuming that, they can get away with this. And I believe probably the first time he maybe moved 5 pounds, maybe 10, because I think it got to the point where they got comfortable. And a lot of times what happens is that these police officers and the feds and stuff, they'll watch you for a long time. They'll allow you to get away with the first package, because they want to build a case. So they'll sit and watch you dig your own grave. That's what the feds do. They're not going to, I mean, there's been Fed cases where they've sat around and watched people for upwards of 10 years before they pounce because they want solid evidence. Because remember, when you're dealing with the feds, they have like a 98% conviction rate. The fact that Murder Inc. was able to get away and they were looking at Fed time, that is like a rare gem. That's like walking outside in your lawn and finding a diamond in your grass. That's how rare that was, that Irv Gotti, Ja Rule, and Murder Inc. was able to get off of those Fed charges. That's not the norm, celebrity or not. So like, they're trying to use these young kids, these young up-and-coming rappers who have not made it yet. They don't have the money and the status of like a Jay-Z or a P. Diddy. And I really feel like this is happening. And I hope this is a wake-up call, okay? Wink, wink, motherfucker. To everybody involved in this shit. I hope it's a wake-up call to these other young, mushmouth rappers who are doing the same thing Juice WRLD was doing. Because I refuse to believe that it was just Juice WRLD involved in something like this. I refuse to believe it. And one thing I will say is, a lot of times, by the time we get involved in stuff, I mean, people of color, it's already been done and perfected by white folks. You cannot tell me, okay? Tell me if you agree that the Rolling Stones and all them damn white bands in the 70s and the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you can't tell me they wasn't drug trafficking. It was nothing but drugs back then. You couldn't tell me they wasn't moving heroin on their damn tour buses and, having weed on their private planes. Put a teacup if you agree. It didn't start with these young black kids. Them white druggy musicians was doing that shit back in the damn day. Let's keep that real. There's nothing new under the sun. Thank you, Elvis. He was a full-on drug addict. You can't tell me he wasn't moving shit across state lines. But see, they don't want to have them conversations. People don't want to get to the thick of the matter. So now we have the narrative being this young rapper was a drug mule and then he couldn't take the consequences and he just decided to OD and, kill himself. I think the rabbit hole goes deep. And I think maybe he did that because it's like, once you get in with certain people, you better not say anything because you're as good as dead. And with what they were moving, they were looking at 30-something years in prison. And most likely that'd have been him. And then don't forget there are also legal weapons on board as well. So I feel like there's definitely some more stuff to the mix with the death of Juice WRLD. All right, so you guys just saw that flashback. So as of now, he has not been charged, but they are saying that he may face charges because all of this stuff may be tied back to him. Right now, they're still doing the investigation. I'm sure they're going to be running fingerprints to see if his prints is on any of the drugs, the guns, things like that. But, it's very interesting how this is playing out. And like I stated in the video, whoever's still involved in doing all this sneaky weirdo shit, you better stop. Because ever since Juice WRLD got popped with 70 pounds of marijuana on his plane, they're definitely going to be searching more private planes, more tour buses, and it's not worth it. If you are drug trafficking from state to state, those are huge charges. You're talking about a federal crime. You're talking about minimum sentence, 30 years in prison. So I hope this is a wake-up call to a lot of new up-and-coming rappers and even the old heads like Lil Wayne that at this point in time don't get too comfortable because they are searching these private planes now. But like I said, this didn't start with these young boys. This didn't start with Juice WRLD and Lil Wayne and other, rappers that we talked about in that live stream who were caught, moving drugs and stuff like that. These rock and roll artists had been doing this for years. These rock and roll artists were involved in drug trafficking, moving stuff on their tour buses and all that stuff. But, it's easier for them to get away with it and still keep their good image. Now that you have a lot of these young black boys, getting involved in the same fuckery that a lot of these rock and roll artists were involved in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, now heads are going to roll. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. It's going to be interesting to see if they end up charging Lil Wayne. This is not Lil Wayne's first arrest. He was charged a few years back for a gun charge and ended up doing time in prison behind that gun charge as well. So all we can do is just sit and watch how everything plays out. So anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire disturbing situation concerning Lil Wayne possibly facing charges for numerous drugs that were found found on his plane, and also, you know, handguns and $20,000 worth of cash. How do you guys feel about this? So once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And last but not least, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that we can be down with the notification squad. All right. Deuces.